Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. It's Brian. We're back for our next lesson in the cryptocurrency series, and today we're going to talk about making money with masternodes. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we start, as always, I have to let you know that I am not a licensed investment advisor, and I certainly don't pretend to be one here. I'm just showing you information, techniques, methods, things that I've learned through the years, and I hope they can help you as well. The big thing to take away from this slide, as always, is don't trade or do business with money that you can't afford to lose. While there are tremendous rewards potentially, there is a flip side to that, and there's a large potential for loss or risk as well. All right, so if you need to read that full disclaimer, please pause it here and do that, and then let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so what exactly is a masternode? Well, the masternodes are those full nodes that incentivize the node operators to perform those core consensus functions of running a blockchain. Remember, in the last lesson we talked about mining, and the miners are going in, they're putting their computer power to work, and they're solving these problems. As they solve problems, they eventually end up owning a node, and then through that, they verify transactions through the blockchain. The masternode operators are rewarded by earning portions of those block rewards in whatever given cryptocurrency that they happen to be facilitating. So if they're hosting a masternode for an Ethereum-based token, then they would receive their rewards in whatever token that might be, or whatever coin they happen to be hosting that masternode for. A little bit more on this. We talked about mining in the last lesson, and we mentioned how mining requires a lot of electricity. It takes a lot of energy because you've got this either one computer or entire banks of computers that are constantly running, and they're solving these algorithms. They're utilizing tremendous computing power to do this, and that burns a lot of electricity. Now, some blockchains, that's called proof of work, by the way, which is what mining is. Some blockchains use an alternate to that called proof of stake. And when using proof of stake, we're simply taking large sums of that coin or that token, and we're holding those in that node, and that takes less energy because at that point we're using this collateral, this stake, rather than burning electricity to constantly solve problems and secure that network. We're using people that have a stake, and then they're doing certain verifications along the blockchain rather than constantly mining it. So significantly less electricity and energy to be burned in doing that. But the masternodes do require a significant amount of collateral, that stake. And through that, we're able to receive those staking rewards. And that's a way we generate passive income with masternodes. When we supply that staking collateral, then everything begins to work behind the scenes, and we receive that passive income paid back to us as those transactions occur on the blockchain. So it's pretty darn neat. The next part, what we'll do is we're going to get into a little bit about how it works. Now, masternodes on one side, it's pretty simple. On the other side, there's some setup that's required in order to set up these masternodes. It's a little bit technical, but nothing that can't be overcome. What I'm going to do today is just give this high-level bird's eye overview of masternodes, and then if you guys are interested in deep diving in, what I'll do is I'll get a friend of mine on who actually does this and generates passive income through masternodes, and I'll get him on to actually set up some masternodes for us and walk us through this entire process. So just so you're aware, this is not something that I presently do. I know about it. I've learned about it from a personal acquaintance that I have that does this full time. His name's Chad Brothers. So the things that I'm showing you here actually come from a list, a quick presentation that Chad put together for me and some others that are friends of ours here in town. So anyway, how does it work? Well, it works by, first thing we want to do is go out and research the coins, the tokens that offer masternode opportunities. So we want to do some research behind it to find out which are the ones we might want to invest in order to establish the collateral required to own a masternode. Once we know who we want to invest with or invest in, we go ahead and we purchase those coins or those tokens, download them into our wallet, then we set up the masternode. And this is where there's some technical things that are involved in setting it up. We need to find a Masternode host. And there's a few different websites out there that can help with that offer hosting plans and sales of Masternodes. But we would set up that Masternode, and then we would send that collateral amount into the Masternode address. And at that point, we're up and running, we're hosting it. We just need to track the income to ensure that we're receiving the benefits that are in line with what was presented to us as far as the potential rewards that are part of that Masternode. Some things that you want to consider when researching the coins or the tokens that you'd be hosting. First is daily volume. And this comes back to one of the early lessons that we did here in crypto. Daily volume matters a lot. Remember, liquidity is one of the things you want to look for. So coins or tokens with higher volume certainly give us better liquidity. And why are we concerned about liquidity? Well, that's our ability to get in or get out at a specified time, at a specified price, very easily. When we have markets that are very illiquid, or tokens or coins that are very illiquid, I liken that kind of back to owning a penny stock. You know, you can own shares in something, but if no one wants to purchase it for you, if there's no one there on the other side buying what you're selling, you're not going to be able to get out of that. So it's the same with cryptocurrencies. If we don't have any volume, just because something has a value attached to it, if there's no one buying it for that value, then we're kind of stuck, right? So we want to invest in things that have higher daily volume so that we're able to liquidate those tokens that we receive as rewards and turn those back into either another more stable cryptocurrency or back into actual fiat currencies, cash, right? Then we want to look at the percentage of rewards. You know, what rewards are offered to masternodes versus people that are just simply staking the currency. Higher masternode percentage is obviously better. If we're going to invest in hosting a masternode, we want to make sure that the masternode is receiving a higher percentage of rewards than over those that are just simply staking some currency that are out there. What's the collateral that's required to get into the project? And is that collateral consistent, or does it stair step up? Meaning that increased collateral gives you a larger percentage of what you're owning. The stair step can be really good if the block changes are more than 50,000 apart. The next thing we want to consider is the block number that we'll be hosting, and where is the coin in its current life cycle? Is it something that's brand spanking new that's just coming out? Is it something that's been established for a little while? What's going on there? If it's something that's new or fairly new, do they have a working product? Remember, cryptocurrencies can be designed for anything. It can be a coin or a token that's used as an actual currency. It can be a coin or a token that backs a project or a product. What's going on there? Is it a security token? Is it a actual use case token? If it's a use case, what product are they supporting? Is it something that actually is functioning and is legitimate and has some real use behind it? So do they have a working product? Next thing you want to look at is jump on the Telegram or the Discord channels. Those are applications, they're chat applications, similar to like a WhatsApp, but a little bit more secure. What's the team's involvement on there? How are they out, responding to support issues? Are they responding to different consumer sentiment that's put into chat? What's the overall tone of that channel? What's going on there, and how is the team involved, and how are they reacting to things? And then lastly, consider what exchange that coin or that token is listed on. That comes kind of back to the daily volume. Certain exchanges are much more legitimate than others, and exchanges with higher volume actually, obviously give us a better opportunity to get in or get out of those coins or those tokens when we want to, at a specified time, at a specified price, right? So what exchanges is the coin listed on? Some exchanges are really easy to get listed on and don't really have any value behind it. Other exchanges are tough to get on, and obviously they do a little bit more due diligence behind what currencies that they allow to be listed with them. So keep exchange in mind as well when we're researching these coins or these tokens. All right, so that's a quick bird's eye view. Obviously, I left out a lot of the particulars on actually setting up the masternode itself. We will probably need to do another training on that, and like I said, if that's something that you guys are interested in, message me, say, hey man, I want to learn more about these masternodes, and if we get enough people really wanting to deep dive into this, then we'll get an expert on to actually walk us through setting up a node, doing it real time, showing us how the research is done, and then how the actual setup occurs. It's something that takes about an hour and a half to actually work through and do right and do it well. But in summary, Masternodes are a really cool passive income opportunity. They are significantly more energy efficient than mining. They do require that same upfront cost, and depending on the coin or the token value, that upfront cost can vary. It can be, a few $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars and even higher, depending on what the node is and what kind of rewards that they're offering. But we do get staking rewards by hosting that node, and that's what allows us to make that passive income. All right, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and we'll be back for I have one more in this series. The last lesson will be on passive income platforms and some ways that we can put our money to work for us in the crypto market. All right, have a great day.